Hey, hi guys. Hey, welcome to Let's Talk Autism midweek, Thursday afternoon. And yes, normally it's Sunday that we have Let's Talk Autism. I think last one we had was Monday, and Nita wasn't able to make it yesterday, Wednesday. So I thought I'd pop in on Thursday. So Let's Talk Autism is where it's a free, open chat where we all can discuss. Where we discuss any topics. We can throw out questions, we can throw out resources, topics, nice things, new things that our kids are doing, or loved ones on the spectrum, share anything, almost anything autism related. So yes, we all come together and share. How is everybody today? And welcome. My name is Linda. I'm one of the admins here at Autism and Us. And for those of you who don't know me, I have a daughter on the spectrum. She's 15 years old. She is diagnosed with autism. She has been diagnosed with autism, I would say about level 2. When she was diagnosed, she wasn't diagnosed with the number. I would say she's level 2. And she was diagnosed just before she turned 3 years old. I started to notice symptoms of autism approximately when she was 14 months old. Retrospectively, I can go back as far as maybe, I can probably go back as far as probably 5 weeks old when I started to see. I can go back that far and see things. Definitely 4 months old, when she didn't like clapping. But as far back as 5 weeks when she used to gnaw on her hand. So yeah, that's my daughter on the spectrum. Okay, so hi Jonathan and Tiffany and Chisetta and Andrea, apologize if I said that wrong. Tired Auntie Mummy. Hi Zinden, I hope I said that right. Anyone's kid loves Takis. I love Takis. Any specific flavor? My son made AB on his report card. Congratulations, Jonathan. Let your son know we said I said congratulations. Hold on one second. One more thing to set up. 1 second, guys. Let me see. Is this the same? Oh, another Andrea. Linda, I have a 10-year-old boy with severe anxiety. Anything that can help with anxiety besides meds. Hold on 1 second. Hi, Chrissy, and that was Lori. Anybody who else has issues with anxiety and want to share any information, please type either. I'm in a watch party, so you're probably not seeing the comments. If you're not seeing the comments, that's what's going on. And I will get back to that, Lori. Hi, Chrissy. Oh, the purple bags. Yeah, that's the ones I eat. Yeah. He's 5. We have my youngest boy. So we have 4 kids. We have 4 kids. Our kids are grown now. We have a 26-year-old, 23-year-old. He's going to be 24 next month. We have a 22-year-old and our 15-year-old. Our 22-year-old, when he was really young, he's always liked spicy things. He never really liked sweets. My little sister is autistic and has other learning difficulties. Recently, she has been more angry and upset. Nothing has changed her routine. Nothing has changed. Her routine is the same, and I don't know what's wrong. She's 10. Okay, we will address that one as well. Okay, so let's get to Lori. So I have a 10-year-old with severe anxiety. Anything that can help with anxiety besides meds. Has he always been? Has he always had issues with severe anxiety? Uh, Emily went through a stage. My daughter Emily, she went through a stage of anxiety, severe, uh, but not constantly. It was there was a period of time where her anxiety was really bad. She still has high anxiety. Or she still has anxiety, but she displays it differently. There was a point in time when her anxiety was really, really noticeable, where if she heard a front door, it was like separation anxiety. She was afraid that she was home by herself, or she was afraid to do a lot of things, and she would say, "Too scary, I'm scared," and she was afraid of a lot. Um, she eventually did get onto medication. But what we had to do was we had to use pressure, squeezing pressure tactic with her. So if somebody was sitting next to her in the car, we had to use that kind of tactile pressure. We used the brushing. There's a little brush like the size of a bar of soap. We would use the brushing on her. We also did the breathing, 10 deep breaths. So we did breathing to calm her down. So we did a lot of things like that as far as calming her down. I noticed that headphones with music would help her, and sunglasses. Sunglasses kind of helped her um, calm things down as far as the sensory overload. So that kind of calmed anxiety down as well. So those are things that we did to help Emily with her anxiety. She was on medication for different things, and that seemed to help all of it. We didn't put her on medication for anxiety, specifically for anxiety. Okay, now with Jade, my little sister is autistic and has other learning difficulties. Recently, she has been more angry and upset. Nothing has changed. Her routine is the same, and I don't know what's wrong with her. So she's 10, and I don't know if she's started her period yet or not, but that age is very hormonal. And I remember with Emily, that was an age that was very changing for her. And we started to go through the moods a lot. And she changed a lot in those years. So, no rhyme or reason. She did change a lot. Very moody. I would say that's when it started. It might have even maybe the end of 9 years old or 9.5, maybe. Yeah, maybe the whole 9-year-old year. So it could be that. It could be that hormones are kicking in. Oh, yes, he has. Okay. Pam, if you have anything with anxiety, hi, Pam. We were just talking about anxiety. She says, I have a 10-year-old boy with severe anxiety. Anything that can help with anxiety besides medication? I was just talking about some of the, I can't think of the word, some of the things that we use, some of the things that we've done with Emily to calm her down during her anxiety. And I mentioned brushing, this tactile squeezing, with her, as far as like pressures, like the pressure points on her, like squeezing her arm, as far as like massaging, the breathing, the sunglasses, things like that in the car, the sunglasses, or out and about, or in a crowded place. I was talking about those different things to calm her down. And George says that he has anxiety panic attacks. So if you have anything to share that you use with Ralph, please let us know. And Lori would probably appreciate that. Oh, you're welcome, Lori. And let me see. hold on one second, guys. Hey, Magdalena, Tina, Rihanna, and Kim and Taylor. Tina, your son suffers from night terrors. My son used to suffer from those. Those are very, very confusing, very strange. Our son used to suffer from those, and I was confused as what they were. Yeah, very confused as what they were. Sorry about that. Yeah, they were. He would wake up crying. He was awake, but he would cry, but he wasn't awake. He was. He would wake up and he would just keep crying and crying, but he wasn't awake, and it was like as if he was confused, and he would cry, and maybe he could cry for almost an hour. And it was a difficult time. It was a difficult time for him and for us. And I know that there's somebody in the group whose son is going through it, or who, I can't remember if she said that he is going through it or what he's going through sounds like night terrors. Veronica, she's one of our moderators. Veronica Yvette. Hey, Nita. Yeah, and those are difficult. Our first son went through that where we hated for him to fall asleep. It was always in the evening. If he took a nap near the late evening or late afternoon, early evening, he would always wake up with night terrors, but never through the night, just in the evening. And then our second son, when he took a nap like that, he would wake up and he would do the opposite. Instead of crying, he would wake up and he would like be in that half awake stage, and he would just have the giggles. He would just keep laughing, but he was half awake and he would just keep laughing. And I'm pretty sure it was like the same half awake stage, but it was the strangest thing. They both went through that. Tina says he wakes up with blood curdling screams that they last forever. And it's like you ask them what's wrong, and you try to help them, and you try to do things for them to calm them, but nothing works, right? Hey, Artista. Hi, Taylor. I found that night terrors happen when you, that's what I was going to say. If they're overtired, that's what I thought, because I was going to say they always happened, it seemed like near the end of a day, like in an evening nap, not an afternoon nap, an evening nap, when he ran too hard or he played too much and he didn't take his afternoon nap, he took an evening nap. So she said, I found that night terrors happen when your baby screams. That's Tina. The funny thing, but not funny, but the funny thing is that same son of mine, who's now 23, he suffers now from sleep paralysis. So he still goes to that, and he can tell when he's going to have sleep paralysis, because it's in a night when he's overly tired that he's going to have sleep paralysis. So it's almost like the same thing. You're like overly tired, and you're in a waking state, but not a waking. You're in a wake sleep state, like a conscious state, but a sleep state where you're not conscious. You're conscious enough to know what's going on, but not conscious enough to do anything. It's almost like a dream-like wake state, which, if that makes sense. What to do about night terrors? You know what? You know, the thing with me, the only thing that I could do was, it was hard, because it was almost like it was just to understand it was the thing to get through it. But you know what? Let's look back. And I remember the reason why I learned about it was because of the talking to the pediatrician about it. My son had one of these night terrors last night. He woke up and yelled out, "Mommy," and he was screaming and kicking, and he grabbed me real tight. My 3-year-old does this, and sometimes it's so difficult. Yes, it is. Isn't this not neat that other people have it, but it's nice to know that there's other people who can relate. My son has a super, okay. Oh, and I think there's one, oh, okay, hold on. Okay, night terrors are episodes of intense screaming, crying, thrashing, or fear during sleep, happen again and again, usually ages 3 to 12. New cases peak at 3.5. Rapid eye movement. Treatment. Let's see what the treatment is. Let's see. Whoops, sorry. I'm gonna put my phone down. Okay, the causes and triggers: stress, depression, anxiety, fever, too much caffeine, sleeping in a different place or away from home, lack of sleep, medication, medications that affect the central nervous system or brain, restless leg syndrome, sleep problems like sleep apnea, which my son does have as an adult, recent anesthesia for surgery. And the night terror treatment is there's no treatment for night terrors, but they tend to stop as the child gets older. In rare cases, if the episodes are affecting your child's daily activities, for example, how they're doing in school or their relationship with friends and family, their doctor might prescribe low-dose benzodiazepines such as clonazepam or tricyclic antidepressants such as imipramine. So there's low-dose medications. There's low-dose medications that you could that they may prescribe, but there really is not very many treatments. So that would make sense why when my pediatrician explained to me what it was, he really didn't offer much as a way of treatment. So I guess too, when they have the causes, I guess a lot of things like autism, when you have the symptoms of autism, sometimes you treat the symptoms, and as we know, you don't really treat autism, you can treat the symptoms of autism. So I guess if one of these things were causing the night terrors, you could treat the symptoms, or the causes, I should say. You can do the causes of the night terrors, which is like the stress, depression, anxiety, fever. You can get rid of the caffeine, I guess, if it was the caffeine that was causing it. Lack of sleep, medication that might be causing it, restless leg syndrome, or sleep apnea. So I guess if we were to control some of those things that we knew might be the culprit, it could probably lessen the bouts of it. Okay, where was I? Right, he doesn't remember them. He wakes up in the morning with sore throat, not knowing why. My son didn't remember them either. Oh, okay, oh, Tina. Okay, sorry about that. Like China, Tina. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know. Sorry. Hi in Ireland. And okay, my son has sugar high sensory, or super high sensory, more than most, and my son hates absolutely everything food-wise, and anything to help him. He's supposed to wear glasses, but he doesn't. My baby is near and farsighted. Super high sensory, more than most, and my son hates absolutely everything food-wise. And you know, my daughter she has very few sorry about that. My daughter has very high she She likes very few foods. She does not like very many foods at all. She's very sensory. Textures are very hard on her. She will gag just watching you eat certain foods. Since preschool, they will always sit her at the end of the table because she has a hard time tolerating um, textures such as like sauces. She eats zero sauces, zero vegetables, zero fruits. She used to eat it all. And now she's, like I said, zero fruits, zero vegetables, no yogurts, no sauces, no apple sauces, no. She eats ice cream. I think that's the only, she will eat chocolate pudding, I think, every once in a while. Very little ice cream. But what has been working is with ABA, we've gotten her to task analysis, breaking it down to the very smallest steps, touching the food, then picking up the food, then smelling the food, and then putting the food into her mouth, chewing the food, and tasting the food. Even if it's the tiniest piece. Her ABA tech has been able to get her to taste a carrot, a piece of a carrot, a piece of a grape. What else has she gotten her to taste? Different things, but she has feeding therapy embedded into her ABA therapy. We also took her to feeding therapy through her hospital, through the speech therapist. So there are options. Talk to your pediatrician about it, and they may be able to prescribe feeding therapy for you. And the younger, the better, because you don't want it to get to the longer it goes, I think the more difficult it would be. Okay, now let me catch up with this. Sorry. I didn't know there was treatment for sleep terrors. We always told they'll grow. Yeah, that's what it said too, that they'll outgrow it. Taylor's my son is the same way. He won't wear his glasses, and washing his hair in the bath, he screams, almost trimming his toenails. Yes, Emily with trimming her toenails. Oh my goodness. She wants us to trim her toenails, but then oh my goodness, she's having a fit to get them trimmed. Those tasks are difficult for myself. Usually singing to my son helps. My daughter eats about 7 items and no fruit and vegetables, so hard. Yes, I cut my son's nails when he's asleep. Yeah, that's a good idea, doing it when they're asleep. I went out and bought a hair trimmer because I was getting embarrassed taking him to get his hair cut. He would scream and kick, and one time a girl cut the back of his neck. That's always the scariest thing, because I shave Emily's legs or her armpits, and my thing is, once I nick her leg or her armpit, it's going to be over. Like, I don't know how I'll ever be able to do it again, because once you nick him, like cutting his hair, how did you get to do it again? Because once they associate that task with getting cut, how did you get back to him being able to let you do that again? That's why I don't know, like, if I ever nick her leg or her armpit, I don't know if she'll ever let me shave her legs again. Like, she wants her legs shaved, but I don't know if she associates that razor with being able to get a cut on her leg. But after she gets a cut on her leg, she will. Let me see. Esther A. Williams likes, okay. So who? Oh, right there. Okay, so she's the one. Oh, okay. Likes fruit and chicken nuggets. That's it. Okay, and Emily likes chicken nuggets, but not the fruit. When did they start using different numbers for autism? I don't know what year that started. I do know that the other admin, Nita, I do know that her son does have a number. I don't know if he got the number official diagnosis though, and he is going to be 14 this summer. But I don't know if he got the official diagnosis. I don't know if he got it with his official diagnosis, because she always gets a new diagnosis. Like he always gets some things that some services he gets, they want new diagnosis with them. So I don't know if when he got the number diagnosis. But if anybody knows that, when did they start using numbers? Like, yeah, if anybody knows the answer to that. Instead of high functioning and nonverbal, yeah, I don't know. Like when Emily was diagnosed in 07, at the very end of 07, when they diagnosed her, it was like on a color gradient, and it was like a scale like this. And they had PDD, NOS, and then they had where it would hit autism, the word autism, and it changed color, and then it would go in a color gradient like this. And this was all autism, and it was going up into a darker gradient of autism. And the higher it went, the more severe the autism. But below the word autism, it was into PDD, NOS. I can only trim John's nails when he is asleep, and only when my husband is home, just in case. Yeah. See, and if I ever cut her toe, if I ever cut her toe, with the clippers, it's over. I did nick the skin before where it pinched her, but it did not bleed. So it hurt, but it didn't bleed. So, and that was a long, long time ago. But if she would have seen blood, it would have that would have been bad too. My sister once cut my son's ears, so now he cries every time we cut his hair. It's hard. I like that I can talk to others with similar. Yes, exactly, Tina. It is because because we deal with these things. Like, so you talk to parents who, if you have a toddler, you talk to parents with toddlers, right? And we've done that, right? And then our toddlers grow up, and then we talk to parents with, say we have a 5-year-old, we talk to parents with 5-year-olds, right? But say our kids are still doing the things that, say, 2 and 3-year-olds do, but their kids have grown up, and our kids are still doing what younger kids do, but our kids have grown up physically, but our kids are still doing what the younger kids are doing. Who do we talk to? We can't talk to the same parents because their kids are doing this. And even if our kids aren't doing what the 2 and 3-year-olds are doing, our kids have gone over here and our kids are doing this. They're not doing what those kids are doing anymore. Our kids are doing this. So we have to find their peers, right? So we found our peers. We come to the group and we find our peers. So it is nice to find others that can understand what we like we're talking about, clipping our, my daughter's 15 years old. I never thought that I'd be shaving somebody else's legs, and, they're doing things like that, right? My son 18, and I just heard about it. My son is the only one with autism in the whole family. My sister's always saying, oh, about the numbers. Okay, Crystal, okay. And in the whole family, my sister's always saying he is a bad child because they don't understand it like me. Yeah, it is hard when people don't get attain knowledge about autism. Oh yeah, your son is PDD. So your son, yeah, he's 18 and Emily's 15. So yeah, that would be, so you would recognize the same thing that I seen, the PDD NOS, where that's what we're still calling it. Replying to Tina, me too, finding this group has been very helpful. I'm glad you guys found it too. Yeah, I can say this, that I didn't realize that, even when Nita and I were founding this and we were building this group, I didn't realize that we would find so many people that would, have similar situations as us. I thought it would still be so different. I didn't know that there'd be so many things with so many things in common, even with just with me. I didn't realize that. I just thought I'd still, that would be them, you guys would be you, and I would still have me, and I would be different. I would still be over here. Uh, I hope I'm not neglecting anyone. Sorry, I'm trying to get through all these. Um, my 3-year-old does this sometimes, and it's difficult. I think that's the, yeah, that's the night terror. Sorry. What about melatonin cream? I've never heard of melatonin cream. Um, yeah, I've never heard of that. I would suppose that it's, I don't know if it would work the same as CBD cream, because I know CBD cream can work on muscles, but I don't know if melatonin cream has the same effects as going into your skin and then actually making me sleepy. Um, Hello there. I'm new. I'm from the United Kingdom. My son has been diagnosed as ASD. Lovely to see you all. Welcome, Nadine. Nice to see you too, or nice to have you. I cut my son's nails when he's asleep. Yeah, Tawanda, that's good. I don't know. I don't know why I don't think that. Emily comes to me, and I think I'm hopeful every time because she's asking me, but she flinches every time I reach for each toe. And toes, I send my son to one barber, only one barber. He has been cutting his hair since he started walking it. That's good. Hi, Myra. I have an 11-year-old with, I'm thinking PDD. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, Jade. Hopefully you're still here. Um, Jessica. Okay. Um, my son is 4 years old. He got his ASD diagnosis last year. I remember the first thing I did when my son got his diagnosis, I began to look for support groups on Facebook. I got tons of help. Thank you for being part of our journey. You're welcome, and thanks for being part of ours. My son is 4 years old. He got ASD diagnosed last year. I remember the first thing I did. So how long have you been in this group, Suki? If I tried to cut my son's nails when he was sleeping, he would wake me up. I mean, he would wake up. Yeah, I think Emily would too. Or she would yank away and not know what's going on. So that could be, yeah. I'm not sure, Tina. If I try to cut my, yeah, my daughter will be 5 in May. She has only been tested by her school, waiting. Oh, waiting for testing from Kaiser, so I'm not sure of her numbers yet. She is not quite nonverbal, but limited verbal skills. I'm having problems potty training her at home. She uses the toilet at school, but I am having difficulty at home. Any advice? Esther, what state do you live in? He's a light sleeper. Oh, okay. So is Emily. You can just walk in her room and you say, Emily, and I can go in there and I can say from my bedroom, Emily, you're asleep? And she'll say, yes. Uh, my son is too a light sleeper. I have no choice but to do it while he's awake. Yeah, Emily will ask me, so I don't want to tell her no because, like I said, I'm hopeful each time that it will actually work. Oh, okay. So, are you a member of your regional center, Esther? I took my 3-year-old son that has autism to his school. Um, sorry, I took my 3-year-old son that has autism to his school that he's going to go to in September, and he did really great looking at the class, playing in the gym with other kids. Nice. That's good. It's exciting. I'm signing my son up for the LISS program. How long does it take to get the benefits? What is that, Twanda? Unless you mean the IHSS. Oh, okay. You know, Esther, you should sign up for, do you live in Northern California or Southern California? I almost said Western California for some reason. Northern or Southern California? Because I'm pretty sure, I'm not certain why Kaiser didn't send you to the regional center. Do you guys know there's an early childhood partial hospitalization program at UCLA? My son went there last May. It's an amazing program. And what is that? A partial hospitalization program. What is partial hospitalization mean? Low income support. Um, I'm signing my son up for low income support program. How long does it take to get benefits? What state are you in? Low income support. Low income support. And how old is your son? I'm going to look into it. At first, she was too old for one program, but not old enough for the other. So maybe she will now. Okay, let me go back here and see how old she was. She'll be 5. Um, you're in Northern California. I don't know why Kaiser didn't send you to the regional center because normally they send you right out to regional centers. Your regional center can also do a diagnosis. That's why I immediately asked, because when we were questioning autism, they immediately sent us to our regional center. And I'm also in Northern California. They sent us to our regional center right away, which was, ours is right here in Napa. And they sent us to the regional center. And when I went back to Kaiser to the psychologist for diagnosis, they actually just stuck with our regional center's diagnosis. And Dr. Broadhurst didn't even do a diagnosis. He just seconded the first one. He just said, I agree with that doctor. She's a really good doctor. And he signed off on that one. Low income support, Maryland, and 3 years old. Is it something like SSI? Low income support. And do you receive Medicaid? Oh, I can just look that up. Tina is in Minnesota. Tina's in Minnesota. I'm going to look into it at first. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the regional centers have a lot too. They have a lot of supports as far as everything that you should be having, all your services, your respite services. They come into your home once a year now to make sure that there's nothing else you need, to make sure that your medical services are covering everything you need. Any gaps in your insurance that something is not being covered, they will cover. There's so many things that they do. They're there for a protection for the disabled is what they the way that it's explained. It's for the ADA rights. And I think every state might have them, but they're called different things. Like ours is just in California, they're called regional services or regional centers. My son has medical assistant and is on his father's insurance. Huh. So regional centers purposes are non-profit private corporations that have offices throughout California to provide a local resource to help find and access the many services available to individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. So they make sure you have everything, especially, so you might think that Kaiser provides what they're supposed to cover medically and what services they have. Like Kaiser will even provide your ABA. They will cover your ABA even through your ABA. So your ABA therapy. What Kaiser will not provide, regional center will. So that's why it's important to have be a member of your regional center, because then regional center covers the excess. Like I said, even right into your respite services, your respite care services. So be sure to contact your area regional center and try to get into your services there. Kaiser also talked to your pediatrician about that. That's where I started the feeding therapy, and Kaiser now she gets feeding therapy through her ABA, which was prescribed through her psychiatrist at Kaiser, and he prescribed the ABA therapy. And so pediatrician sent us to speech therapy. Speech therapy showed me how to do feeding therapy, but it was all the way in Roseville, or I think Oakland had it as well. But I live near Napa, so it was far. both ways. So they prescribed it. They showed me how to do it, and then they prescribed it through ABA therapy now because we had ABA anyway. So ABA therapy asked me what kind of things I wanted addressed, and we implemented it through her ABA therapy. So we have feeding therapy through there. And yeah, and it's starting to be okay. It's starting to work. Okay, now to Wanda, if you're still here, let me look into that. Hey, Steve. Oh, okay. So say though. Let me start. One more. Okay. Oops. Hold on, you guys. Sorry, lost my post. Hey, Lacey. You're welcome. Thank you. Looking for my post. Is this it? Hey, Kara. So I guess it's time for the IEPs. So does everyone have IEPs near the end of the year? I know I have my IEP. Hey Sharon, I have my IEP. I I guess month after next. It shouldn't be too difficult though. I'm hoping she will just be in the same program. Just called and left. What is this? Oh, just called and left a message for intake. Good. Like I said, they're really good. They do all the services. They will ask sometimes to just they will do medical ID bracelets. They will do all kinds of things. Yeah, they will do all kinds of things. If your child was an adult, oh, you know what I just recently found out they will do? They will help with respite, so they will do camps. They will do things like that. They will do as an adult, if your loved one is an adult, they will even check on residential. So if your loved one wants to go and live independently, say in a residential home, say with 4 other adults and the adults that come in and work to care for them, they will go and check those housing facilities periodically. They will go and check and make sure the facilities are upright and what the conditions are. They will regularly maintain and check those places as far as what the credentials are and make sure that the facilities are up to par. So they stick up for the rights of the individuals of the developmentally disabled. So it is really a good benefit. What is respite care? Respite care is different from like in-home support care. In-home support care is services that your child needs to be cared for like every day. Respite care is a service to take care of your child or your loved one. I tend to say child because my one on the spectrum is a child. Respite care is to give the parents a break. So, okay, so I receive respite care. So I receive 105 hours a quarter. Yeah, a quarter. So every 3 months I get 105 hours. So that means that my husband and I have 105 hours between my 3 providers that I've hired. So I can call up a provider and say, hey, we want to go out for 4 hours. Can you come and sit with Emily? So that means I have a babysitter for 105 hours every 3 months for a babysitter for me and for my husband and I to go out. Or you can even stay in the house. So it's just for somebody to watch your child while you have respite time, while you have time away. So that's what respite is. So the regional centers provide that for you. How did you get it? Mine comes through my regional center. And it's because everything is for the betterment or the best life possible for the one on the spectrum, the disabled one. And it's not only for the spectrum, it could be somebody with Down syndrome. It's for, like I read, it's for sorry. It says to access the many services available to individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. So it's to support the entire family. Good. I'm glad, Esther. I hope that really works out for you guys. Yeah, when I first got it, Emily was 14 months old. All my services came through there. It was really good. Shortly after I got Emily into there, they have certain ages that go into there. I got her in the part that was before 3 years old. It was 3 and under. Shortly after I got her in there, they weren't accepting the 3 and under anymore. They closed it. They weren't accepting anybody in the 3 and under anymore. So unfortunately, they wouldn't provide any services to the 3 and under anymore because there was a big influx, and they couldn't take any more clients under 3. And then it had been closed for years, and then they had opened it up. I forgot how many years later they had finally opened it up again. Yeah, it's a really good service. It's really, really good. Here in Southern California, they do different things. They have like Disney tickets for discounts. They have different activities that they let you, that they'll pay for events and different activities for your kids to do, or your loved ones. Sorry, I did it again. Different things for your loved ones. So I think it's mostly you have to ask for things. Respite, I know that they will offer. They'll ask you, do you need time? And they do ask you, do you need, is there any medical bills that are unpaid for? So, for example, what happened was my daughter broke half of her front tooth. It was just half broke. Just she hit it on the wall during a meltdown. It was half broken. Her Medi-Cal, which is Medicaid, they wanted to. They wouldn't put a crown on it. They wanted to put a filling across half her tooth. They want to just fill it and build it up. That's it. Well, what happens is when she's mad, she's having a meltdown, she'll bite on her shirt and she'll yank at it. She'll rip her shirt. One time I went to school and literally this much of her shirt was all ripped up. It literally looked like when people cut their shirt like this, it literally looked like she had one of those shirts on when I got to her school. So she bites on her shirt, and the dentist even said she will literally just snap the filling off. It's not going to last. I'm not even going to work on it because she's going to snap the filling off. So Medi-Cal declined the crown, and the dentist even declined doing it. So Medi-Cal declined doing a crown. The dentist declined doing a filling because it wasn't going to even hold. Why bother? So, so we were in a dilemma. So I called the regional center, and I told them, and they said, okay. I said, finally, we have a bill that that's not being paid. So you guys always asked me. So yeah, I am finally in that situation, unfortunately. So I let them know. Anyway, so they told us, okay, so let's see what happens. So they resubmitted it to Medi-Cal, got declined again, and they sent it to their dental coordinator, and she handled it. It took a bit of a time, but they paid for the anesthesia, they paid for the hospital, they paid for every single thing, and they approved it. They got the crown, they paid for the crown, they paid for the whole service, and they fixed her tooth. So yeah, so it turned out well. So Medi-Cal declined it, but that was a situation. It was a paid medical bill that they paid for. Sorry, I just came in and I haven't figured out what this conversation is about. We're talking about our regional centers here in California. I may have missed this, but how old is she? She is 15. Yeah, respite care is very valuable. You know, one thing that I like about respite care, at least in my town, some counties are different, some towns are different, even within the same county. What I like about it in my town, anyways, is that I can have somebody in my home paid, or outside my home. So let me see right now how many. Wait, who is my third provider? can't remember who the third one is, or if I was going to pick a third one. So right now, I may only have 2 providers right now. Or maybe it is my son. So my daughter is one of my providers, so she can live in my home and be a provider. Then I have one provider who lives outside the home. My son, who lives in the home, was the other provider. So in some towns and counties, you can't have somebody in your home paid. They have to live outside your home. But that's not always a situation that's going to work with somebody on the spectrum, or in, it's not always an easy situation to leave our kids with a stranger, or that your kid is going to be capable of doing that, or that you're going to be able to find somebody that can do that. So that's not always, a good situation, or a situation that you're going to be capable of finding someone. So I mean, it's good and all, but will it happen? You don't know. So I like that I have the option. So what I did was I made a combination of hiring somebody from the outside and somebody that Emily knew. Whereas I don't have to plan it too far in advance. I can just say, hey, Aaron, are you going to be home? Yeah. Oh, okay, here we're going to go. And right then, I have somebody. You're welcome, Jeanette. And okay, I had to have my daughter's teeth fixed under anesthesia as well. And thank God for our insurance, but we did pay $1,200 out of pocket for the anesthesia. Turns out we could have had paid via prescription through our doctor. Oh, had that paid via, oh. Excuse me. Did you have her fully put under like in an OR? Or did you have her sedated, like highly sedated, put under in a dentist office? We had her put under like she was put under like with the face mask, like with the anesthesia gas, and then she was put under like with propofol via IV, because she was in the Kaiser OR. She was in the operating room, so she was in the hospital where the anesthesiologist puts her under, the medical team, and then the dentist goes into the operating room and does what she needs to do. Yeah, they put the breathing tube through her nose because they were working in her mouth. Then they went down her throat. Yeah, fully, yeah. Isn't that scary? Because they have to do it just for teeth, it's so scary. They have to go fully under for her teeth, yeah. Oh, and she's small. Yeah. In the hospital, yeah. Yeah, it's so sad what they have to do. And yeah. Yeah, I think Emily had it done. She broke her tooth last January, and she had it done 1, 2, 3, 4. She had it done 4 times just for this one tooth that she broke. She had it done 4 times, and she'll go back under in August because she had it temporarily cemented because we're not sure if she's going to need a root canal. And if it's good until August, then they will permanently permanently cement it down. Hi, my name is Donna. I started Fundraiser on I don't know that one. We had to wait a year for her to weigh enough first. Oh, she has enlarged adenoids. Whoa. Oh my goodness. how old was she when she had that done? When she had the whole procedure done for the dentist. She's 15 and she broke her tooth when she was right when she turned 14, and she just finished it up right after she turned 15. And yeah, it was, she just finished it up January 15th. She started going under when did she start doing this? She must have been like 5. She might have been 5. She might have been a little bit younger. No, she might have been 5 when she started to get that done, when she started having to be sedated. It's good though, because that they have that, because I don't know how she would go to the dentist. I have no idea how she would get that done. So I hope that everyone has that option. I would almost want to become a dentist just to be able to do that. I would offer my services in the OR, because all you would have to do is be the dentist. You know, I mean, if I was a dentist, I would offer my services in the OR. I would definitely offer my services in the OR, because you don't have to be the medical staff as well. You just have to offer your services in the OR. Yeah, it's definitely a service I think needs to be done. And yeah, it's definitely a service that needs to be done. I almost want to go to dental school to do it. Yeah, I would love. I've thought about being a dentist before. I wanted to go into nursing. I once had a doctor ask me. One of my doctors tell me that it wasn't too late for me to practice to be a doctor. And then yeah, and that was a few years back. Of course, and he said he didn't decide to become a doctor until he was 38 years old, and he went and he did it. Respite, yeah. How old is she? My daughter had work done, yeah, when she was like 3, and she was put under. That was hard, but the regular dentist was to restrain her, some type of burrito, but I cannot do that. Exactly, because they're moving, and because I took her to my dentist the day before just to get x-rays. He did get the x-rays. He was awesome. We did get the x-rays. We got the x-rays done, and he tried to build it up. We didn't use the drill because we were scared to freak her out. He did build it up, and every time he got to doing something close to it, she would move. She would like pull back. So we didn't get too much done on there. So as soon as we got home, it broke off. And so I had ordered this thing online, and come to find out, I did not know it was a real dental product. And I had showed him it before, and he told me to send it to him, and it was a real dental product. It come to find out, he told me. And he said, yeah, you can build it up with that. And so I built it up, and it was on there until a year later. So I built it up with that because you could see the pink nerve. So until it finally got situated and finalized with everything with the regional center, it was built up from what I had put on there. So he said, yeah, if you can get it to stay, I don't know if you can, but yeah, I built it up and I got it to stay. And the one time that I built it up, it stayed for the entire year. So good for that, because she was having sensitivity and she was crying because it was hurting, because you could literally see the pink nerve through the little piece of enamel that was left. Let me see. Did income play a part in getting SSI? My 20-year-old helps with her siblings, 2 on the spectrum, trying to figure out how to get her as an attendant. She's trying to do online school and work outside while helping me and my stepdad, and her stepdad, with the 2 we have. Okay, so so SSI, okay. My 20-year-old helps with her siblings, 2 on the spectrum, trying to figure out how to get her as an attendant. Does anybody have, who has SSI? Shonda, do the 2, how old are the 2 that are on the spectrum? Do they have any services at all? training would make them fear the dentist. Yeah, I think that's why they're already freaking them out because they're being restrained. My daughter will go, no problem now. She's still a little very weary, but not terrified. Yeah, Emily took until, what is she, 15? She took until she was about 12 or 13 to not flip out at her pediatrician's office. I'm so glad you called, Esther. Hopefully they call you back and they do an intake right away and you get going on that. Get something going. And Esther, I'm assuming that you have private insurance through Kaiser? And Shonda says, my kids still freak out at the doctors. Yeah, this is fairly recent. No, 1, 6, and 3, and we paid for ABA services. Okay, so nobody has services at all. And what state are you in? Virginia. No, but if you message me, I can give you a lot of information. I don't want to ask too many questions on here, but I can let you know. You said no medical Kaiser. You the same thing, Esther. I don't want to ask too many questions on here. Hold on one second, you guys. See you later. Sorry about that, you guys. Oops. Yeah, Esther, because I wanted to ask you something about the regional center, and it makes a difference with how you're getting your Kaiser. And yeah. Where is that? What happened to the comment? Oh, I lost the comment. Yeah, I can let you know a little bit more about that, Shonda. Okay, so it has been an hour and 16 minutes. Okay, so everybody, this has been nice. Thank you for joining me. Okay, guys, so I don't know if you guys seen this. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on. Let me see. My 6-year-old is in school and receives the services afforded to autistic kids. His school is autism friendly. We are lucky that our county has services with the school, and my 3-year-old does half-day school. Oh, so your 3-year-old is in the, oh, my earring is done. Your 3-year-old is in the program where, I don't know, I think it's a girl. Your 3-year-old is in the program that when they turn 3 years old, because they're on the spectrum, they go straight to preschool and they receive all their services through the school program, right? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay, so okay, you guys. So usually, Let's Talk Autism is the normal time for Let's Talk Autism is Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and it is myself and Nita, and yeah. So we hope to see you there Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and it'll be Nita and myself. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys hopefully on Sunday. Okay, you guys enjoy your weekend and hope to see you on Sunday. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.